starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, welcome. Special hello over to Abba and to Courtney and to my friends over at Smell Good Spa. And over here on Instagram, I have Miss Joanne Howe hanging out with me. So tonight is going to be a very interesting subject. Very personal to each and every one of you, and also to those of you that are on. So, of course, I have everybody hanging out with me over on Instagram, also on YouTube, and hanging out in the Facebook area. All right. So, mental health for entrepreneurs. So, oh, thank you, Abba. Can you all hear me? And can you see me before we get started? Can you hear me and can you see me? I know Miss Joanne has checked in over on Instagram. And Miss Joanne, can you still hear me on Instagram? Perfect. Thank you, Courtney. Smell Good Spa and Abba checking in. All right. So tonight, let's do a quick recap of some of the things that we talked about last week. How is everybody doing, first of all, this week? And thank you, Miss Joanne. How's everybody doing this week? And was the information that we discussed last week useful to you? Was it helpful at all for any of you that have pop ups coming up? All right. All right. So, for everybody hanging out over on Instagram watching the replay, typically what I do, because I have it going over here on Facebook and YouTube, I am reading the comments and they're talking to me that way. So, for you all that are on Instagram, you are welcome to do the same as well. You can put your comments here and they will show in the replay that I post in my Instagram profile. All right. So last week we talked about doing pop ups. I wanted to give a special shout out and thank you to Courtney for doing a lot of that research in the background. She actually helped me a lot with different things that she had going on that I talked about. She actually did the research for me and sent them over. I want to send a special shout out also to Jayla. She'll catch this during the replay. I'm sure that she'll pop through during the comments at some. Oh, there she is right there. Hey, Jayla. All right. No problem, Miss Joanne. You can catch the replay. All right. So we've talked about a lot of things and what it takes in running a business. It's getting ready to be the busy season. So we're trying to get you ready for those of you that are watching the podcast on replay. We're trying to get you ready for Mother's Day and also for those of you that are participating in 420 and what's coming up for 420. All right. And then right after 420, you literally have Mother's Day. So I will say this to everybody that is thinking about doing something for Mother's Day. You need to get going and you need to get your marketing going for Mother's Day, for 420, or anything that you have coming up. Also, still speaking about pop ups and preparedness. For pop ups, you need to start looking for events. All right. You need to start looking for events and go ahead and sign up for them because they are filling up quickly if that is something that you are going to do. All right. So the subject this week, and thank you everybody that are my regulars, my mods over here on YouTube, and anybody that is watching the replay. I really appreciate you all supporting me on this podcast. And this particular topic is not just for candle and soap makers, so you are more than welcome to to chime in. But what we're talking about this week is a topic that is very serious and a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's things that we all deal with, whether it be personal or in our professional lives. But what we're talking about today is mental health and mental health tips for entrepreneurs. All right. So you're going to see me looking at my notes as always, because of course I want to make sure that I cover everything that I want to talk about. All right. So let me bear with me here. I'm going to pull up my notes, and I hope that everybody had a happy and blessed Easter. And thank you for those who sent me the shout outs for Easter. I appreciate it. It was actually a pretty quiet day for me. I really enjoyed seeing all of the kids as always with their Easter outfits on. All right. So when you talk about mental health, we're going to talk about mental health first, and then we're going to flip it over into mental health for entrepreneurs. Hey, Miss Yolanda. So everybody over on YouTube, Yolanda is over on Instagram. Yolanda that joined my friend Yolanda that joined us on the first go round. All right. So one in four entrepreneurs will experience mental health. Some of the most common things that you experience when you deal with mental health issues are depression and anxiety. And that may be something that is ongoing, or it may be something that it is temporary, related to your particular situation that you might be going through. But that's kind of scary, huh? There are a total, including Yolanda over on Instagram, there's a total of 5 of us watching. And I just said one in four, right? So, how many of you all, and show me by doing a one in the comments, have experienced either some sort of anxiety, depression at some point related to your business? Hey, Simply Unique, I appreciate you pulling up. We're talking about mental health for entrepreneurs tonight. All right, so put a one in the chat. All right, because you will find that at some point in most people's adult life, they go through this, correct? And as an entrepreneur, a lot of people expect you to keep going, correct? We have to keep the business going. We have a lot of, and see, I've got some ones over on Instagram as well. So here's some tips that I actually looked up. We're going to talk about that, but I wanted to break it down, and I'm going to ask if Jayla can jump in on this one too. Because she speaks a lot about this on her platform. What are some of the signs, and then we're going to talk about tips and things that we all can do to help each other to overcome any situations that we possibly are going through right now. All right. And I have a comment from Instagram from Simply Unique LLC. And she says, mental health affects everyone in some way, shape, or form. And that is absolutely correct. The big thing here in 2023 is we really need to pay attention to that and watch it, especially in our children. Because a lot of times they see us and we're so strong, they think, okay, my parents don't say anything, so it's okay for me to just not say anything. And bear with me because I'm looking for my notes. I want to make sure I cover everything on this subject. All right. So we all have said that we've dealt with it, whether it's stress from a job, stress from a family situation, stress from relationships, stress from our business, or all of the above, correct? All right. So when you are going through those situations, you want to make sure, don't do what I do and try to have the world on your shoulders and act like everything is okay, because it's not, right? If you're going through something, say something, because that helps for you to get it out and to talk about it. All right. You don't necessarily have to go into details, but you do want to make sure that you talk to somebody about it. All right. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are also committing suicide. The suicide rate, unfortunately, has definitely grown over the past couple years, especially since COVID. And especially, you even start to see that now amongst the celebrities. So, if again, I have several people that are my accountability partners in different areas, so they know what the situation is with me. I pretty much am transparent to people that I feel comfortable with in exposing what I am going through. Even though it appears that everything is always okay, a lot of times it is not. So, as entrepreneurs, and particularly in the soap and candle world, you want to reach out and say something. You know, the old saying, if you see something, say something, because you never know. You may, number one, make that person's day and you give them hope to look forward to things being better. And also, number two, you may save that person's life. A lot of things that I go through, they are temporary because I don't claim them. We all go through different situations where they may last a little bit longer, whether it be a breakup, whether it be a job situation, house situation. We're going to keep it moving. So, how many of you know someone that you've actually, or you may be doing it now, that is a business owner that you have to support? Put a two in the chat for that. How about that? We're going to get interactive with the chat buttons while I pull up my next notes here. How about that? How many of you actually know someone that you are serving as their sounding board or person that does support, right, of some sort? Excuse me, that you are helping them through. Doesn't matter whether it's candle maker, soap maker, entrepreneur. I love it, Simply Unique. And I've also got some twos over here over on YouTube. But again, Simply Unique says advocate for yourself. You know when things are starting to be too much. Also be proactive. You can sometimes identify what situations cause stress or anxiety. It's great to know ways to combat them. And I absolutely agree with that. Drinking iced tea. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about mental health for entrepreneurs tonight. So you're welcome to comment and participate in the conversation. Over here on YouTube, as you see, I've got some feedback over here as well. And I've got some more people jumping in on Instagram. So welcome, welcome to Courageous Sumi. And if I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. We're talking about mental health for entrepreneurs tonight. All right. So, how many of you knew that there are ways to combat mental health and the different things that you go through as an entrepreneur? Because people think it's nice to run if you have your own business or a part of a business. They think it's all glitz and glam, correct? Because again, we see a lot of the celebrities, but with the celebrities, we only go by what we see, right? Celebrities, YouTubers, TikTok people, the social media thing. As of late, the past couple years, I'd say in the last really 15 years, since we've been dealing with social media, a lot of people, as they say, are putting on for the gram or for YouTube. They want you to think that everything is okay and they're living this extravagant lifestyle while they are on in front of camera, correct? If you think about that. So, as entrepreneurs, you are always expected to be on, correct? So, some of the ways, and Simply Unique just mentioned them, but some of the ways that you can actually combat that is, and number one is self care. Let's see what Miss Smelga Spa said. She said, entrepreneurs, hold on. No entrepreneurs, I have to make this bigger, Smell Good Spot, so I could see what you said. No entrepreneurs presently, but am assisting women overall. And Smell Good Spot absolutely does that. She helps me behind the scenes a lot. She is a big reason why I am on Amazon now. She pushed me to do that, even though I mentally didn't feel like it, right? So, again, there are people that can help you. There are different ways. And Miss Melga Spa, don't let me forget to get your information out there. And I also found an agency that is willing to help on LinkedIn. So I did a little bit of research. But the number one thing that you want to do is practice self care, right? You have to put yourself first sometimes, even if it's just a few minutes. Taking the time to exercise, which is one of the things that I started doing, and I do feel better by that. I don't feel like it today, but once I get going, I absolutely feel 100% better, and it refreshes your mind. It's also a mood booster, right? So exercise is one. Self care, getting little things and doing little things for yourself, because even your family sometimes can be a stressor for you as well, because kids can be very demanding. The smaller they are, the more demanding they are. However, if you have teenagers or preteens as well, they can be very demanding because everybody wants your time, right? You have a business that is like another kid in a sense. And if you have a spouse, they also want, or significant other, they also want their time from you as well. And then, God forbid, if you work a 9 to 5, right? If you work a 9 to 5, you've also got to think about that. So you may feel like an octopus spinning all the time, because sometimes I feel that way, trying to get all of these things done in the day. If you run a business and you are team one, as in team I, team me, you've also got to do all your different hats. Your marketing hat, right? Your social media hat. You've got to think of products, sales, shipping, invoicing. You've got all those different things. Shout out to Lima Candles. All right. And yes, Simply Unique said, and this is a problem I have as well. Simply Unique, I definitely suffer from this and I'm trying to work on it. She says, yes, learning to relax too. It is hard for someone who is always on the move. I am a true Capricorn and I am definitely guilty of that. All right. The next thing is share your struggles with others. We just talked about that a little bit. Of course, if you need help, you don't necessarily have to publicize it, but it really does make someone's day, mine in particular, when you simply say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? I know you got a lot going on, but how are you doing today? Even sending a smiley face, a heart, anything. As you see, Smell Good Spa I still have hers up on the screen for that very reason. Sometimes she'll just send me a heart and say, hey, how's it going? Jayla checks on me, Courtney, Abba, everybody over here on YouTube. And I talk to Yolanda as well over on Instagram. All right. So check on your relatives. Those that are strongest have the hardest battles behind the scenes, right? You never know what somebody might be thinking that day or going through. It's a lot going on in the world. And definitely something else I forgot, if you are taking care of parents, or if you have, say, a special needs child or what have you, that also can be very taxing if you are the only one providing care. And then I can speak for Yolanda and myself on this one. We have psycho babies. Yolanda has her baby and I have mine, our fur babies. They also want our time as well. And they also can bring a smile to your face, but that also is in its own form a form of stress, because you've got to provide for your fur babies as well. All right. Any type of pets, they are there for our emotional needs, but they still need their time with us as well. Right? All right. And Yolanda said, yes, we do. All right. So the next thing, and this is something that I'm taking very, very serious. Um, I have a lot of conversations with Jayla about this. So I've actually started my own project that refers to this. I'm not ready to share it yet, but I will be sharing it on the podcast platform. Having a morning gratitude routine and a routine of gratitude, because we always, I'm laughing at what Courtney said and I'll tell you all what she said in a second. We always tend to take a lot of things for granted, and we should be grateful every morning that we wake up. Before or when we open our eyes, the first thing that we should do is thank, whether it be God or whatever your religious situation is or spiritual situation is. Be grateful for being able to see another day, because a lot of people don't wake up that day, right? All right. And also, this is what Simply Unique said: slow down. And I'm guilty of this. I go 1,000 miles a minute. Like I said, I am a true Capricorn. Jayla says all the truth. And let me tell you what Courtney said. Yolanda, this is really more so for me and you. Don't come for my little cousin, because she knows about Zeus as well. All right. Courtney, Yolanda has a really cute Pomeranian. He is all black and he is adorable. All right. So, still continuing on, and this is something that I thought was good. Start a journal and write down how you feel each day, especially on your bad days that you're struggling. So you have a milestone to look back. Some people do it through social media. And Simply Unique said she's guilty too, because I run 1,000 miles a minute. I have all my life, and unfortunately, health issues arose about 5 years ago, and it, due to blood pressure, it made me slow down because I fell out at work. All right, so and I have that happen every so many years, and I found out it's all been related, and I found out I suffer from anxiety and depression and all that type of stuff. I don't claim it, but it's there, and some days it's worse than others, as I'm sure a lot of you deal with that too. I just say it's temporary and keep moving. All right. How about this one? And I really like this one. Throw yourself a dance party. Throw yourself a party, and not a pity party, a dance party. All right. Because the situation is going to get better. Right? If you look back at some of the things that we've all been through, I'm sure, to hear everyone's life stories, we've all been in situations that it just looked like it was just the worst thing in the world, whether you were a child, teenager, and definitely as an adult, and we've all made it through, right? We've all made it through. Welcome, Miss Rose. Oh, thank you all for the hearts on Instagram. All right. So have a dance party for yourself. And again, for me, I started exercising because I kept putting it off and putting it off. So I started doing that, and like I said, it has helped me, even if it's just for a few minutes. Now, I mentioned Jayla a lot because she has a platform totally separate from her candles, that she talks about this. Yolanda, thank you. Yolanda told me this personally, but I'll read it aloud to you all. She said, "There is light at the end of the tunnel, even though we may not see it." All right. Jayla said, "All truth, and she's always on the go." Yes, Yolanda, a singing party. Yep. So you got a dance party, a singing party. We all have our different ways that, some people go outside and they walk. That's usually their time with their pets, right? You go take your pet for a walk, a long walk, not just a walk for them to go outside, but for you to get some air as well. All right. Smell Good Spa said another perspective. Hold on. Another perspective for entrepreneurs to consider among the proactive practices is internal healing. Oh, that's a good one. Things that have happened as a childhood or a teen. So she's got that in parentheses. I state this because the majority of challenges in business are not external. Correct. And Yolanda chimed in and said over on Instagram, whatever makes you feel good. So both of these ladies are right. I absolutely agree with both of you. And I'm seriously working on doing better myself. A lot of us that are caretakers, and I know a lot of you on with me within the sound of my voice, are also caretakers as well. And we forget about ourselves right until we get sick, typically until you fall out, get sick, or whatever the case may be, because you're so worried and so concerned about everybody else. So I'm learning that it's okay to say, hey, I need help. Somebody check on me, because that makes your day, right? When somebody checks on you, even a text. Like I said, a lot of times over at Smell Good Spa, she's got several things going on, but sometimes she'll stop her day and she will send over that heart emoji, which she never knows, but she always seems to send it at the right time, and it makes my day. All right. Another thing, along with the morning gratitude routine, develop an awesome morning routine, which also, and this is going to go over to Yolanda for this one, which is also your diet and what you eat. All right, because you know that saying, garbage in, garbage out. If you drink a lot of sugar in the morning, you have sugar crashes or whatever. So there are safe ways to do things because your body is what you eat. So all of these things play a part. So when you talk about your personal life, your work life, your mindset, remember we talked about mindset back on episode 1 and 2. How does that all play into your business? How that all plays into your business is this. If you don't feel like doing anything, what do you think is going to happen in your business? It's going to reflect that, right? If you don't feel like making that bar of soap, that wax melt, whatever you do, if you are a coach or whatever it is that you do, for those of you all that are watching the replay, whatever you don't feel like doing and you try to make yourself go do it, It's going to reflect in your business. Your customers are going to feel like that, especially if you make handmade products, right? For those of us that make handmade products, our products typically come out like garbage, right? They come out like garbage when we don't feel like it. It's a transfer of energy, right? Sorry about the background noise. All right. Jayla spoke on this a couple episodes ago. When you make something, it's a transfer of energy. It is an energy transfer. So you want to make sure that you are in the right mindset. And Jayla, I'm actually glad that you were on here tonight for something that I saw, which is when you are a candle maker, right? You've got different colors that mean different things. All right. You've got different colors and scents as in aromatherapy. All right. So if you're not into aromatherapy, I definitely recommend that you look into it. Also, let me see what Miss Smelga Spa here says. I love the sound of the city. So no problem about the noise. Yeah, it's loud here. And I apologize for that. All right. And sometimes the colors, the smells of what you're making can change your mood instantly, right? Citrus typically is energy, right? Whereas lavender and sage, those things are typically calming. And for those of us that like the woods, the woodsy scents, again, they're kind of in the middle outside, and they all represent different things. So if you didn't catch, here's a very cheap plug, but if you didn't catch our fragrance episode, go back and check that out. All right. And that was episode number 8, I think. Don't quote me on that, but go check that out. And we're coming back on the fragrance blending episodes. We're going to have that one soon as well, probably next week. All right. So, what you want to do is do whatever works for you. But when you are making products that are going to go into someone's home, you want to make sure that your energy is on point and that you cleanse them before they leave your environment. All right. So you'll see a lot of makers discussing that and showing you the behind the scenes of how they prep and how they also send out their packages. All right. Because that's very, very important for candle and soap makers, and really for anybody who has any sort of business, especially if you hand make your products. That's like a piece of you going out. So you want to make sure that it is going out with the best energy of all time, at all times, excuse me. All right, here's something that I looked up, and I just simply looked it up on Google, to be honest with you. 5 steps to mental well-being. Connect with other people. Good relationships are important for your mental well-being. All right, that's the first one. Let's see what Miss Courtney said over here. Courtney actually put some notes on there for me in the comments, and it's episode 8. And thank you, thank you, thank you. She actually put the link in there for episode 8. All right. All right. So, see, there's connecting with other people. All right. Be physically active. Being active is not only great for your physical health, not only great for your physical health, but it's also great for fitness. So we talked about working out again, right? Again, I'll toss this over uh, to Yolanda on that one. She is very much into taking care and working out as well, and it also makes you feel good too. All right. So keep in mind what you do with your body. It reflects through what you do out there in the world. How about this one? Learn new skills. Learn new skills, because that makes you feel good. You always tend to feel interested and take that on, right? A lot of us have projects that we're working on that we have not put out to the world yet because we're still learning those skills, right? Most of you have been on this journey with me on this podcast. It's not perfect yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it because I'm still trying to find my way through. But I at least wanted to start on this journey. And this is a good one, and this is why I saved this particular one. Pay attention to the present moment. Mindfulness. All right? That's a big one, right? Mindfulness. All right. So if you are getting or have some good thoughts from what we've talked about so far, put a 3 in the chat for me. Put a 3 in the chat for me if you heard something that you want to try, whether it be working out, whether getting you an accountability partner, whether it is checking in with somebody just to see how they're doing. When I say check in, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a full blown conversation with them. You can text as well. A lot of people are texters nowadays. All right. So over on YouTube, they did put some threes in the chat for me. All right. So let's keep the conversation going. How about this? And I like this one. This is a particular one that I saw, and this is over on Shopify. And I owe you all some links on the last episode. I'll make sure that I put this one in for this one. This is on Shopify, and 9 self care tips for busy entrepreneurs. I love number one. All right. I love number one. And this one, I'm going to send this one out to, I had to make sure she was still on for Simply Unique. Don't forget to breathe. All right, because we're all guilty of that. We get going, we're running. And this is why I wanted to have this episode today, because we are getting into the busy season for makers and for those of us that have products, because Mother's Day is coming. You've got back to back things that are going on. If you have children, they're going to be out of school soon. So you got to figure out what to do with them. So we have a lot going on there. So that's number one. Don't forget to breathe. All right. And then number two, minimize stress through exercise. All right. Minimize stress through exercise. It's free to exercise, even though we feel like we have to have the cute outfits and everything, going on. It's free. All right. And it's even better if you have access to YouTube or something like that, because there are several people who have videos that you can watch. All right. So definitely think about the exercise. And number three is a big one. How about get better sleep? Get better sleep. If you can get better sleep, what's recommended typically is 6 to 8 hours. Abba added in go for a walk. So that is a form of exercise as well. And also, a lot of us are fighting the battle of the bulge still from COVID. We developed some horrible eating habits that we are all fighting with as well, trying to get the extra weight off. All right. And Jayla says, yes, I've been doing all of these things. All right. And Jayla, you're an outside person too. So you like to go outside anyway. How about this one? Fuel up to increase energy. Fuel up to increase energy. All right, that's a big one, right? Because we tend to go grab, and I'm guilty of this. I am diligently working on breaking my Mountain Dew habit. So don't judge me. I stay in Mountain Dew rehab, but I'm doing pretty good with it, because I used to have one every day and now every once in a while. Same thing, I've been candy free now for 8 months. Today was the first day I actually had a piece of sugar free candy, which it actually was like a treat, because I used to be horrible with Mountain Dew and horrible with candy. So take stair steps. All right. And hello, Lash Out with R2. And I hope I said that. What we're talking about is mental health for entrepreneurs. So welcome to the podcast. You are on Instagram, but I have the podcast going over on YouTube and Facebook. And you're also welcome to watch the replay. All right. How about this one? Number 5, seek human interaction. All right. So that goes along with talking to someone. It helps. And oh my goodness, ladies, Robert from Dapper Guru is over here on Instagram. All right. So he's hanging out with us on Instagram. Hello, Mr. Robert. Welcome back. Robert has actually been in a class to improve his business. So keep an eye over on Dapper Guru on Instagram. But Robert, what we're talking about tonight is mental health for entrepreneurs and different tips that we're all giving to each other to help us get through these times. All right. So definitely, you're welcome to the podcast, or welcome back. All right. This is a big one. Engage in activities outside of work. All right. So for us, being entrepreneurs, that is a form of an activity for us, right? When we get those orders, we've got to get our orders going. We've got to pack them. We've got to do some sort of social media or something pertaining to our business, right? So, how about one of the things that I would like to start doing this summer is going to network mixers. All right. And the reason that I want to do that is, of course, I want to spread the word about my business, but I also want to do shorts for the podcast from there so you all can see other entrepreneurs and make you aware and make them aware that we exist on this podcast. And by the way, for those of you that haven't subscribed, do me a huge favor and run over to YouTube. I need 9 more people and I will be able to broadcast mobile from my phone. So if you can go over to YouTube, it is Bubblez with a Z and Flamez with a Z podcast. It's all one word over on YouTube. I would definitely appreciate it because I need 50 to be able to go live on my phone because I actually want to get out and come and visit some of you all. I want to go and visit and hang out with you and show you in your element, show your products, etc. And that's not necessarily just for candle and soap makers. We've got suppliers and other people that support us as well. All right. How about this? And this is a big one. Create a workspace that you love. I'm going to point Jayla out on this one. If you all have seen Jayla's TikToks, she has her infamous LED sign that is behind her, and I absolutely love her sign. Check out her Instagram and her TikTok. They're very entertaining, and she's going to start her series back up. So Jayla, definitely, if you want to drop the name of your stuff in the chat, you, of course, you know you're welcome. But she has a very entertaining. She has 2 series that she does, and she's getting ready to start up another one. If you need to be entertained, she's very, very entertaining. All right. How about this one? Number 8. Treat yourself because you deserve it. All right. And Yolanda says environment is everything. Yolanda, I need to come to your house and just sit there in silence and look outside. She has a view to die for, literally, in downtown. Downtown. So I love it. All right. And Jayla has posted her TikTok for Self-Esteem Queen. All right. Check in with your mental health is the last one. Check in with your mental health. All right. See, Abba Yolanda just said, come on, she doesn't know. We're going to do a fur baby date. And I'm going to go see my friend. All right. Because I haven't seen her, talk to her. We work together outside of business. Yolanda, I got to get your candle stuff together for you too while I'm thinking about it. All right. So here's the thing about candles. All right. And thank you, Courtney. How do candles improve mental health? The smell of scented candles stimulates our lymphatic system, the part of the brain that is home to our memory and emotions, balancing hormones like serotonin and dopamine in our brains to help us regulate our moods. All right, that's one thing. And also, the smell of a scented candle stimulates the part of your brain which is connected to memory and mood, from boosting energy to relieving stress or even enhancing mental clarity. The healing properties coming from a lighted scented candle can deliver psychological effects. You will see as a lot of candle makers record their social media, they have a wax melt and or a candle typically going in the background. All right. If they make soap and candles, you may see both going. It just depends. A lot of people do a mix of things, or for myself, for Jayla, music. We talked about having the dance party, right? Typically, when I'm in my studio, I have music going because it gets you energized, it gets you going, correct? And also burning citrus candles. One thing I will say about everybody that is on the podcast, you have shower candles, Ava. Okay, do tell. You've got to put the information in the comments about that. And Abba also makes massage candles. So for those of you that are new watching me, if you want to bring attention to your business, just let me know. Like I said, we could talk about it. You can DM me and I will gladly put you on the channel as I get eyes on the channel. Because remember, this is on YouTube as well. It's on Instagram, but it's forever on YouTube. All right. So it puts different sets of eyes on your business. And I notice in my analytics, a lot of people are looking, they go back and watch the replay. All right. So that's something to think about. And welcome, C. Hughes Photos. All right. We're talking about mental health for entrepreneurs tonight. This is my podcast that I do every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So you're more than welcome to join us. All right. But that's what we're talking about, tips. So you can catch the replay for what you missed. We're talking about tips for entrepreneur health and different things that you can do. All right. So hopefully that catches you up. All right. Also, they are having a conversation over here on YouTube about Abba's shower candles. Abba is very much into, Abba, drop your link in the comments, please. Abba is very much into aromatherapy, scent. She's got a whole thing going on. If you have lost your scent during COVID, she started a new business during COVID that deals and addresses that. All right. So, again, this is a network of entrepreneurs that support each other. I know it's titled for candle and soap makers primarily, but we accept anybody that can be a supporter or a supplier for candle and soap makers from social media. Of course, I've got CE Hughes in here for photos. So feel free to put in the comments what your business is because people do go back and read them. All right. And of course, myself, I'm a candle maker, now podcaster and YouTuber, of course. All right. So, with that being said, let me, before I forget, give you all, and Courtney, you'll do me a favor, a huge favor. Can you look up Econa? It's spelled Econa. 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 If you look them up on LinkedIn, which is where I found them, what their platform is mental health for entrepreneurs. Econa. Econa. They have like a lot of stuff on their page. They have test cases and everything else. All right, that you can look into as a entrepreneur. And of course, if you need help with that, we put the links in the description. Now it's in the YouTube description, not over on Instagram. All right, so I'll try to remember to drop it in the comments there as well. All right. So that, I believe, was everything that I had. I've gone through all of my notes that I had. Courtney, I appreciate it. All right. Jayla, is there anything that you wanted to add from your personal note? Oh, and you're quite welcome, Jayla. She said that's a great resource. Yolanda, tips on food. Do you have any tips that you can share on food or what you recommend going that way? And to everybody else, of course, what things do you do? If you can put it in the chat for me that you want to share with the group, that is, what do you do that helps you get through the difficult times? All right. We all know that prayer, spirituality is generally number one. All right. If you need a prayer partner, of course, that's something else. I try to stay away from the religious stuff because people have different religious beliefs that watch. All right. Jayla says she has been exercising and wait a minute, let me go back. Hold on, Rob. I saw your comment come in. Jayla says she has been exercising and mapping out her day. All right. And then Robert said, pray. And then Jayla says she has been watching what she eats. And this is probably what Yolanda's going to put in the chat too. Watch what you eat to feel better so you're not sluggish. Robert said he prays and he does fly fishing. All right. Yolanda says taking time out for yourself to just take a breath. All right. And Jayla said, I've been taking notes and reading them daily. And you've got me doing that to stay on task, more consistency. And Yolanda says, you are what you eat. Courtney has said hiking. All right. So we've got a lot of suggestions. How many of you all that are business owners and you make a product, do you ever do this? this may sound kind of strange, but I do it from time to time. Do you ever sit there and just look at what you created? Do you ever do that for inspiration? And we all should do this at some point. I need to go and look up my. Oh, yep. Simply unique affirmations. Definitely for me on that one. All right. Courtney says reconnecting with her family. But do you ever sit there for inspiration? Do this for me because I need to do it too. For everybody that's within the sound of my voice, whether on the replay or live, let's do this. Smell good spots at all of the above except fly fishing. Same for me. Robert, you can have the fly fishing, but we've already talked about that. All right, let's do this. Let's matter of fact, tomorrow, this is perfect to do tomorrow if you unless you have something, maybe put on your story. Tomorrow is Throwback Thursday. Put something when you started your journey versus what you have now. I guarantee you that's motivating. I got to dig up some pictures of when I first started candles, my glitter candles, that is. All right. And if I post what I have now versus then, hopefully that gives inspiration. And if you all can do me a favor, and if you could tag, let's do a hashtag, or you could tag Bubbles and Flames podcast, because I have a YouTube page for this. Maybe that'll get the conversation going. And so that's perfect for tomorrow. Put a 4 in the chat if you're thinking about doing that. All right. That is definitely motivation. I always do that. That's Yolanda. All right. So put a 4 in the chat. I'm going to do it. I've been intending to do it for a while. Alba says she's going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow as well. Smell Good Spa. She says, I do admire my work. When customers post, I smile and say, wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jayla said she's going to post. All right. So really quick, if you all, since you're interacting in the comments on both sides, besides the fragrance blending, I've already talked to a couple people about this. You do not have to share your proprietary blends because some people do have proprietary blends that are exclusive to them. But we're going to, and tell me if this works for you. I've already talked to Rose about this, Courtney, Jayla, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Robert yet because he's been really busy with his new launches, product launches. All right. Fragrance blends. What I was thinking about, because I got a lot of feedback from people in the podcast and outside of the podcast about joining. Oh, welcome. Is it Therese? Teresa Toledo. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about mental health for makers, and we've been on here for a little while, so you can definitely catch the replay if you want to catch up. But what I was thinking about, because I've got a lot of requests, when we did the fragrance blends, and Courtney already said it's episode 8, so check that out. Going more in detail. Excuse me. Going more in detail on the blends and giving some basic blends. Will that work for everybody? Excuse me. What do you all think about that? Again, no proprietary blends, because if you have something that's proprietary, I definitely don't want you to put it out there. All right, so that can be another show. And that show, to be honest with you, is probably going to be, for those of you that have time, is probably going to run about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Why do I say it's going to run that long? Because fragrance is always a long discussion. By the time you go through all the fragrance notes and everybody shares everything. So if you want, we can even do that as a off cycle episode, because that's going to be a longer episode. All right. And I can just break it up or however. Does that work for everybody? Is anybody interested in that? What's your feedback on that? If you're interested in that, do this for me, since you all have been really good. Put a 5 in the chat for me. Abba, you can talk about if you choose to aromatherapy. Of course, everybody has different blends and different things and how they come up with their blends. And the reason why, thank you, Rob and Abba. The reason why I wanted to do that is to give people motivation, because we all get mental blocks on different scents, right? And different things that we can try. And Courtney says anything with fragrance is always a 5 for me. All right. And like I said, I've already talked to Jayla, Courtney, Now, Rob, we got to catch up too because I know you've been busy this week. How about over on Instagram? Is anybody interested in that? And of course, you can always go to YouTube and look at the actual episode if you're interested in that. And I want to definitely make sure it's recorded in case you all need to go back and look at that. All right. So we can definitely do that. And Courtney, what I will also do, because Courtney keeps me on task, Jayla in one way and Courtney in another way. I'll put it in the Facebook group as well, so we have it in the files. All right, in case anybody wants to reference that, so we could do that. Yolanda, once you get going on your Simply Unique, absolutely okay. So it'll be documented because I don't know. Of course, it'll be posted on Instagram, but I would have to chop it up because it is long. Fragrance discussions are always long, so I could chop it up and you can watch it at your leisure. All right. And yes, Smell Good Spa, you are definitely a fragrance crafter. Definitely. So if you can make it, of course, I would appreciate it. Now, when you talk about a young lady being extremely busy, go check her out on Amazon and also Instagram and Patreon. She's all over the place. She has a lot of products that she specializes in and that she's known for. So definitely go support and check her out. All right. I saw that, Courtney. Thank you. All right. So I'll definitely work on that, putting it together. That is going to be a longer episode. Can you do me a favor? This is not going to be a number this time. If we do that episode, can everybody put in the chat for me what day do you want to record that on? Do you want to keep it on a Wednesday and just go Wednesday and I just chop it up? Or do you want to record it as a separate episode on a off day, meaning any day other than Wednesday? Because I know with people's schedules, I try to keep everything at a set time. Simply Unique, I really appreciate you pulling up to tonight because I know this is your first time hanging out with us. So definitely spread the word. All right. So while I wait for the feedback on that, what are some of the other topics that you all would like to see? Because we have a list of them, but I want to be able to go and keep it on task for the things that you all need. All right. Because also when you watch the replays, people put in comments as well. Wednesday works for you, Abba? Okay, perfect. All right. So I promised you all that I was going to do a giveaway. I still am stuck on what I want to give away. So what I was thinking about is, what do you all think about a sample box? And what I mean by that is, for me personally, all of the candles that I personally do. So you would get a glitter candle, you would get a botanical candle, and of course you would get a marble candle. What do you think about that? All right, as the giveaway, because I've been going back and forth about what I want to do, because I just did the marble giveaway over on Instagram. So, Rob, you've been in class, but my next giveaway is for the podcast. So I wanted to give you all, as the podcast attendees, uh, give you a chance to pick what you want. All right, and there will be other giveaways coming. For me, this helps me get products out there as well and have you all say, um, give your feedback and share as well. All right, so what do you all think about that? So I guess you could do a 6 in the chat for that. Oh, that's right, Miss Smell Good Spa. Absolutely, I forgot you did get the marble candles. So she said she liked the marble candles. All right, and Simply Unique said that's a great giveaway. All right, so I'll set that up. Oh, thank you, Maury. I didn't know you were in here. She said they are all fantabulous. Okay, and so I'm gonna do the sample sizes. I'm not gonna do the big sizes now. But I will. I'll put together something. All right. So I've got to make candles. So I want to go ahead, and I've been going back and forth with what do I want to do. So I just decided to let you all pick. So I'll do the sample sizes. So all right. So that's a done deal. So over on Instagram, for everybody that's on Instagram, make sure that you pay attention. You know, the infamous giveaway post. And this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to ask that the people that you refer, as well as you, follow the podcast, not just Instagram this time. So it's because it's more stuff, it's going to be a little bit, there's going to be a little bit more requirements, but I will get that posted by next week. All right, I have to do now. I can actually make the products and do the post. All right, so I'll do a sample box and get that going. So you are guaranteed to get a glitter candle, a botanical candle, and of course the marble candle. You never know what else may show up in the box, so I'll just leave it at that. All right. All right. So, do you all have anything else that for me that we need to talk about? We're right at the hour mark, and I knew this was going to be a little bit longer for mental health. So, just in wrapping up, make sure you take care of yourself first and foremost. All right, because your business, if you're not there, 9 times out of 10, your business isn't going to be there either. Right. All right. And thank you, Smell Good Spot, for that comment. All right. She said the botanical is gorgeous too. I appreciate you for that. All right. Um, Definitely take some time and breathe, as Yolanda mentioned, for me, because I definitely have to do that. And sometimes, especially in your 9 to 5 situation, what do we all like to do and we're famous about doing, right? Walking away, right? Just walk away from your desk, especially if you sit in front of a computer all day. Walk away, give yourself a mental break. Depending upon what your work situation is, if you work from home, walk away or walk out of the room, of course. All right. We have ATA Customs and Party Rentals joining. All right. And welcome, welcome. What we were talking about tonight, and you're more than welcome to watch the replay because we're actually wrapping up now, is mental health and the tips and things that you can do for better mental health for entrepreneurs. So I hope you all definitely will catch the replay on that. I'll post it shortly. All right. So next week's episode, I don't know what we're going to do yet. We might do question and answer. I don't know. I got to figure it out and look at the list because I'm trying to keep a series going. Or we might go ahead and kick off our fragrance episode that we talked about and getting ready again for upcoming events. All right. So we'll talk more about that. And I appreciate everybody over here on Instagram and over here on YouTube. All right. And remember, you are watching the Bubbles and Flames podcast live. If you are watching a replay, you can keep the conversation going in the comments, or you can join us over in the Facebook group, which is Bubbles and Flames podcast community. And we will, of course, I'll answer you back in the comments or one of the moderators. Everybody over on Instagram, I appreciate you for joining me. And before we go, Miss Smell Good Spa says, always remember, sorry, Instagram, my godson had called me. He forgot I'm on a podcast. Always remember healthy boundaries. It is okay to say no and to pause. Remember to seek help. No person is an island. All right. And she says, good night, all, and rest well. All right. And I will end on that note. But remember, Bubbles and Flames podcast, sorry, on all social media. I appreciate each and every one of you for pulling up on me, and everybody watching the replay. Have an awesome week, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And on that note, good night.